Alrighty, so my name is Joe Williams and I'm a Hawktail player. Now, yeah. Alright, so my name is Joe Williams, I'm a Hawktail player, and I'm going to be telling you the story called Alphonse's Hat. And remember, you can't hear the story anywhere else. And I'm going to be telling it to you from my grandma's perspective, okay? So it's going to be like my grandma saying it. Sound good? Cool. Alright. Hi everyone, my name is Rosie, and I'm a little girl growing up in Brooklyn. Do you know where Brooklyn is? Where's Brooklyn? Do you know where Brooklyn is? Yeah?
Raleigh.
Not exactly.
New York.
Very good. Brooklyn's in New York. Now, to get to Brooklyn from here, it takes about 10 hours in a car. It's a long time, right? Yeah. Now, I was a little girl at the time, so the year was about 1949. That's a long time ago, right? Yeah. So, my daddy was a man named Alphonse. He was such a nice man, but he really didn't have a whole lot growing up. You see, he had to stop going to school when he was in the 4th grade to help work with his father. So he couldn't read or write like most grown-ups could. Now, when Daddy was a young man, he had a tumor in his brain. A tumor is just when part of your body swells up that isn't supposed to. So then the doctors need to go in, take it out, and then you're all better. So when Daddy got his tumor taken out, they had to replace part of his head with a metal plate, so his hair couldn't grow back the way it used to. Now, when Daddy was a young man, his friends would call him Chappie. That just means a really good-looking guy that dresses nice. So when Daddy got his tumor taken out, he'd start wearing hats. And once a year, Daddy would go down to the hat store to get a new hat. So I remember he comes up to me and he says, "Rosie, why don't you come with me to the hat store?" But I told him I didn't want to go. You see, I didn't like going out with Daddy by myself because of the way people would look at him. People would nudge their friends and point and laugh at him just because he looked a little bit different from them. But I could tell he really wanted me to go, so I went. As we walked onto the street of our Italian neighborhood, I felt so happy. I could look up and see American and Italian flags flying on buildings that touch the sky. Look up with me, do you see them? And there's the bakery, making all kinds of cookies and cakes. Everybody take a deep breath in with me. And out. Smells good, right?
Yeah.
And people were speaking Italian to each other. Do you want to learn some Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Great, all right. So if you want to say hi to someone in Italian, you say, ciao. Can you try that?
Ciao.
Molto bene, that means well done. Can you try that now? Molto bene. Great job, everyone. Now the next one's a little tricky. If you want to say goodbye to someone in Italian, you say, arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Great job, everybody. So we keep walking down the street, and I remember I was so excited. I'd never been to a hat store before, so I really wanted to see one. But then I noticed that people started staring at Daddy. It would be little things at first. People would look at him funny, and then when I turned around, they'd still be looking at him weird. I remember I was holding my daddy's hand, but that made me so uncomfortable, so I let go of his hand and started walking further away from him. I could tell Daddy was upset, but he knew how I was feeling. It breaks my heart to this day knowing that I did that to him, but I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. So we keep walking down the street, and I remember these two guys start pointing and laughing at my daddy. Can you believe that? That just made me so mad. So I walked right back up to my daddy, grabbed his hand, and I said to those guys, "Hey, don't you laugh at him. That's my daddy, and I love him." Oh, you should have seen the looks on their faces. They'd never been yelled at by a little girl before, but they could tell that I meant business, so they stopped laughing. My daddy just looked down at me and smiled, and we kept walking to the hat store. So we finally get to the hat store. I remember it smelled so good, almost like a shoe store. So we walked around the store looking at all the different hats, and I picked out a nice black fedora for him. See, a fedora is a little bit different from a baseball hat because it's made of felt, so it's really soft. The brim goes all the way around the hat, and it folds in a little bit at the top. Daddy really liked this hat. He said that because it was black, it would go with any outfit he wore. That made me really happy. So, Daddy bought the hat that I picked out for him, and then we walked back to the apartment. And I held his hand the whole way back because I knew no matter what, I loved my daddy and he loved me too. So that was Alphonse's hat. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
All right. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Any questions at all? All righty. So I have a question for you then. What do you think the moral of the story was? Yeah?
Be happy who you are.
Okay, I like that. Yeah?
Stand up for what you love.
Good. I like that. Yes, sweetheart?
Be kind to everyone.
Good. I like that.
But he was not being kind when he said
Laughing at
that. but he was being kind to his daddy, so nobody. No, he was standing up for his daddy.
That's right, she was sticking up for her dad.
I mean, she was sticking up for her daddy.
Oh, so the story was about my grandma. So the little girl in the story, that was my grandma.
Everybody has value.
Good, I like that. Yeah, what?
Stand up for other people.
Very good. Exactly, yeah, you're all right. It's all about standing up for people who are being put down, you know, treating people the way you want to be treated, and really loving your family, because your family's going to be with you for a really long time, you know.